Hi, welcome to the Enchanted Kingdom of Hermione. We're in the turret of pleasure watching the Flight Channel and going through the Empress's new collection, which she has bestowed upon me, Zip Gun, the Lord Chamberlain of the Enchanted Kingdom. She has been advising me to stay at home because of the pandemic, and so as a dutiful public servant, I've been trying to do that as much as possible. And in order to keep me from getting too antsy, she has been out doing the thrift store shopping for me. Now, with a lesser woman, this would be fraught with problems. But the Empress has developed a nose for what I want in the thrift store. And it's not even, she doesn't necessarily know what it is. Her radar is now finely tuned. And this haul is just a testament to how well she knows me. I don't know where to start. I'll just start at the top of the pile. Asian Dub Foundation, produced by Adrian Sherwood. This is pretty damn good. I like Adrian Sherwood. Enemy of the Enemy. Now, All Music didn't really like this one. It's just another Asian Dub Foundation record. Well, I don't have any. And I got through this whole thing, and I thought it was great. It's what you would expect from an Adrian Sherwood record, and what you get is what you get. And I think these were all $2 at Sally Ann. Now, and then she found this, and I love it when this happens. This record was kind of hard to figure out. The Intimate Bella. Well, I looked everywhere on All Music everywhere. There is no record called The Intimate Bella that they have. What this is, and you have to kind of look carefully, deep within, this was the soundtrack to a movie, Let No Man Write My Epitaph. This was a really hard record to find for ages. And I do believe it's just Ella with a pianist singing a lot of songs in a quite different manner than they're normally sung. And it's Ella Fitzgerald. How can it be bad? But this is actually a really cool, fairly rare record. But it's just been reissued in a kind of a confusing format. And the other good jazz record she found was Oscar Peterson Plays the Cole Porter Songbook. Now Oscar is not my favorite pianist, but get him and Roy Brown, I should say, and Ed Thigpen playing this stuff together, and it's like, yeah, you can't not like it. It's wonderful. Done in, I think, 1959. Yeah, 1959. That was his peak. Now we get into some interesting territory. The Empress knows about my affection for world music, particularly world music that's been buggered up by rock music. And she looked at this and just sort of, I don't know what she thought. Vanatina. Vanatina is a band from Finland that features, amongst other things, 4 female lead singers. There's a great photo of them. I didn't get too far into this, but I'll tell you what, the first 5 minutes of it blew my mind. And, yeah, what do we got here? We got cards falling out of it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, I think there's 4 female vocalists. A bouzouki reeds whistle player, a string bass, a 5-row accordion. So I think they're using predominantly Finnish folk instruments, but they're leavening it with a fair amount of fairly edgy rock music. It's on a label called Xenophile, which I love, because that describes me in a nutshell. And then we got this. And the great thing is, I didn't even ask. This is in Greek. Now, the last I checked, the Empress doesn't speak Greek. And so I think she just bought this because it looked kind of interesting. Now, my Greek is very poor. However, the fact that it's on the Phillips label, one of my favorite labels, suggested to me that this is a Nana Muscuri record. And I was right, seeing as there's Nana there, which mercifully contains no Greek letters. But trying to figure out what the hell this was took a little bit of effort. So I ran the serial number, and this is apparently songs by a composer whose name is Manos, oh God, what's his name? Katsakis? Anyway, it says it's from 1988. The recording sounds older, so it might be a compilation of these, because I know she did a few songs by this fellow. And I'll tell you what, Nana Muscuri, okay? This is actually really lovely. It's very understated. There's not mushy strings. There's not choruses. It's her and her lovely voice. She's got a beautiful voice. Tiny little voice. Sort of like the Greek Joni Mitchell almost. With traditional Greek instrumental backing. Very understated. Very minimal. And you know what? I put this on to see what it was like, and I got through the whole thing. And I thought, wow, I'm going to keep it. I saw it on eBay for $40. There you go. And now we get into weird territory. This, as a format junkie, I just love this anyways. But what she found, and again, I'm not sure she had any idea what these were. We found 2 CDs by Mercedes Sosa. Now, Mercedes Sosa is a legendary Argentinian artist who died some years ago now. And she was a sort of a rebel. I do believe she was arrested while playing a concert in Argentina once, which is props. And she was in exile for a few years, came back, and when she died, there was 3 days of public mourning in Argentina. My Spanish is non-existent, sadly, because many of these songs feature spoken parts, which I don't know what she's saying. What she sounds like to me is, this record is from 1973, and this is a live record called Demi from 1980, 80 or 91. The live record is curious. It begins, every song fades in with applause and then fades out with applause. She's got a fantastic voice. If I had to describe her as anything quickly, I'd say she sounds kind of like an Argentinian Joan Baez. Same purity of voice. I listened to most of both of these. And again, I came away really, I wish I knew what she was singing about. There's a lot of rabble rousing. She's on the live record. She does 2 Milton Nascimento songs, which is great because I love Milton Nascimento. Anyway, and of course, as a format junkie, this is a weird. Look at this format. Now this is about as cheap as it gets. Again, though, label junkie, format junkie. Ooh, we got gray label, we got purple label. What's not to like? Phillips is one of those labels. They are everywhere. I have a Ethiopian sax record that came out on Phillips originally. I mean, they had label offices pretty much everywhere. And in many markets, they were dominant. You know, in Greece, in Venezuela, I remember. Genesis, Selling them by the Pound, came out on Phillips. A really worldwide force in music were Phillips. What else did she find? Well, she found me Itzhak Perlman and the Lebec sisters doing Peter and the Wolf. And as we all know, I collect Peter and the Wolf. She found a Tricky record we didn't have. I am less of a fan of Tricky than she is, but I would have bought this had I have seen it. And we found, this is also interesting, a label I have never heard of, which is something. ADDA, distributed by Qualitone Imports Limited, New York, which means this is obscure. French label, I do believe. Everything's in French, so I'm going to guess. Harpsichord music by Gilles Farnaby. Or is it Giles Farnaby? Might be Giles Farnaby. Now, Giles Farnaby was, if I remember right, a British, or was he Irish, composer, and his stuff is hard to find. And everything I've heard of his, I really like. Oh my goodness. Somebody has handwritten notes for it. Who knew? Does it say? Elizabethan period English music. Okay, so he was English. This I haven't played yet, but I know I'm going to like it because I've got a little bit of Farnaby. And as a guy who loves early harpsichord music, I remember really liking everything. People might remember his name. I think the Penguin Cafe did a piece by him and turned it into some kind of mini hit. And then as a last gasp, now there's a couple I didn't mention because they were doubles. She found the Goretsky Third Symphony, which I must have 5 copies of by now. And a couple of other things. But this is interesting. Solia, distribution Fusion. That sticker means I'll buy it. Although, now me, I might not have bought this. It's on ACT, which is a German jazz label. And what this is is a compilation of, well, it says Solia, a flamenco jazz fantasy. And it features um, it's a random compilation of studio tracks by Ole by John Coltrane, Will o' the Wisp, El Amor Brujo by Miles Davis and Gil Evans, Spanish Fantasy by Chicoria, Concerto de Aranjuez done by the Modern Jazz Quartet. So what this basically is Spanish flamenco inspired jazz music on a compilation. It'll go good in the car, you know. But yeah, interesting. I don't really know its purpose for being. Concept and compilation by Siggy Locke. Now, Siegfried Locke, Siggy Locke was involved in German Weah way back when, if I remember correctly, if Stan Cornin's book is any indication. So Siggy Locke, I wouldn't be shocked if he runs Act Records. But again, for $1 or $2, it was probably worth buying. So there you go. That's just one thrift store, and this was with the Empress's input, and I got a lot of cool stuff to listen to. I've only listened to maybe half of it, so there you go. I'll dig out the other pile that she found wherever it is. All of these are awaiting filing, of course, so Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell, and wear your mask when you go out. Try to stay away from everybody if you can, and look after each other and be kind to each other. The future is looking better. That's it for now. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.